Taking the like the 1-inch tapes themselves with all the like 24 tracks and then like a real remix job basically.
Yeah, well, like a remix, but also
like
a
just
novel.
taking.
I mean, that's what I want to do in the future more is to have more time and more like luxury to record, to build up a whole library and then edit things down, because I think with this album it's more I'm taking almost everything I have and putting it together in a way that makes sense. But in the future I'd rather have a surplus and then take that surplus and cut it and make it more narrative, because what interests me more as music is a narrative, but having like different chapters and pauses and sentence fragments and building a whole library of music and then whittling it down to the core tome or something. But I mean, I like to work with Bowie. But it's all really tentative because people are kind of scared by this idea that music is one library that everyone has access to, which has happened with Napster and SoulSeek and LimeWire and Kazaa and Audio Galaxy and all of that. Okay. So, and then also with the bootleg idea, which, I mean, the idea of the copyright seems pretty outdated to me because it's sort of selfish and limiting in a way, because if the copyright is saying I own this, but it's also a weakness. It's like, I own that, but I can't do anything new.
Right.
So you should be able. It shouldn't be anything like if someone steals what you do, then outdo them. Like fight back, do something stronger. And it's been really hesitant here. Like Bowie will do something like a sanctioned bootleg contest, like win a free Bowie CD if you do a bootleg and he gives you the files, but they're all the new songs. Then it's kind of boring. Or like Pharrell will put I think they put the first mashup on iTunes that was legally available, but it's so behind the times. I mean, 3 or 4 years ago in Europe, you had Richard X putting Sugar Babes with like a early Human League song, and that was #1, which there's nothing really comparable to that here because we're so behind.
For legal purposes and otherwise too, the copyright laws are really constricting in this country.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to me because what is the dominant form of music now here is hip-hop, and what is hip-hop but sampling? And so it's just kind of a new form of power. Like if you're Puff Daddy, you can sample Sting and have a #1 song and you can pay for it, but if you're underground, then you can't pay for it and you can't have the song. And like the least creative people have the most money and most of the power, and it's sort of like capitalism at work, and hip-hop has bought into that, whereas before it was a reaction to capitalism, saying we don't have anything, so we'll take what you do and subvert it. Now it's the exact opposite. It's been inverted because of money and turned against itself, and that has to come down because, or I mean it doesn't. I mean it's like, it's politics, but I mean I'm kind of sick of it. I would rather go to Europe and be in that environment than be here where that rules and is never questioned and never gets toppled. But I mean Europe's different because it has the whole electronic heritage, where here that's never happened, but in Europe since like the late 80s or early 90s, rave music or electronic music or whatever it was top 40, where we don't have that sort of heritage. Here electronic music is ghettoized, where we're told like, oh, the labels are going to try for Chemical Brothers and they'll put an album and that'll be the new thing, but it's not marketed in the right way because that's not how it is. It's an underground movement that bubbles up, and in England anyone can have a #1 hit because it just happens. Like the KLF as a phenomenon would never happen here because we don't have that sort of opportunity in our culture where you can rise up based on the strength of your music and people will support that.